Mi melech malachei halachim hakadosh baruch hu. Sechem shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei halachim hakadosh baruch hu.
Shabbat Shalom, and thank you for being with us. And whether you're here in the sanctuary or you're watching from home or someplace else, we're delighted you could be with us. My name is Barry Nicholsberg. I have the honor of being the cantorial soloist here at Temple Beth David. We are in Snellville, Georgia, 20 miles east of downtown Atlanta. And when you hear Jim sing, you're going to wonder why I am the cantorial soloist. But we'll get there pretty quickly. To my far left is Frank Monteleone, who has been our guitarist here forever. Yeah, I think so. This is Daniel Bordeaux on percussion, and he just does magical things. And Jim Murray with a really nice voice. And I'm really glad because my voice is starting to sound to me like my age. So, at any rate, we're delighted you could be with us. On the back table tonight, Denise Whitlock, our streaming specialist. We thank you, thank you, thank you. And sitting next to her is my beautiful bride, Jeannie Nicholsberg. I had to stop and think for a second, what is her name? But I got it. Well, you know, here's the reason why. Because I always call her Eleanor, which is her actual first name, but nobody else calls her that. But I do. And so I was about to say Eleanor. No, I can't do Eleanor because we wouldn't know who I was talking about. You'd think I was married to two different people. I'm not. So, with that, thank you all for being here. Thank you in the internet world for being where you are. If you have comments, you have names for the Mishaberach list tonight, if you're watching, or you have names for the Yurtzeit list, please type them into the chat box. Jeannie will read them out loud. And so I have a question for you, whether you're here or elsewhere. Where were you last Shabbat? Where were you physically? And where were you spiritually? Were you rushed? Or did you savor the coming of Shabbat? What's happened in the past 6 days? They go by so quickly, we hardly take notice. Jim told me earlier, you know, you're not supposed to lie on Shabbat. I don't know why you do that, but he told me his granddaughter is 8 months old. Impossible. It feels like she was born last week. How could she be 8 months old already? What kind of person were you this week? Were you thoughtful? Were you superficial? Were you preoccupied? Were you appreciative? Did you laugh? Did you cry? Did you tell anyone how much you love him or her? Did you use your week well? And what does that even mean? What lessons will you take from this Shabbat into the future? As we enter Shabbat, let us release the past week, its joys and its sorrows. Let's free ourselves from any misgivings or guilt. Let us be ready to look for new happiness and bring the best of ourselves to new experiences during the week to come. Wendy, are you lighting candles tonight? I just volunteered you. So as Wendy Fine makes her way down to light the Shabbat candles for us, I would like to take a moment and welcome Sharon and Rick Gross. And they have recently moved to the area, and we're delighted to have you with us. And I would have offered you the lighting of the candle, but we talk about that, so I had to go without embarrassing you. I'm going to move out of the center because you won't be able to see Wendy if I stand there. Oh, you can't eat anyway. It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Okay, is this thing set right, or do I need to
I can
blow
help
it?
you with this. Yes, it was set for someone of normal height.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlich ner shel Shabbat.
So, if you're new to this routine, I, for some reason, tease Wendy mercilessly about her vertical limitations. So, when she wants to kiss me, she has to get up 2 stairs, and then we're close enough. I do love you. Thank you for lighting the candles this evening. Have you told anyone how much you love him or her? Yes. All right. Lecha Dodi. For those of you who are not familiar with our custom here, we sing verses 1, 5, and 9. When we get to verse 9, we will stand up and face the door we came in to welcome the Shabbat bride, who did not just walk through the door. No, that's David. He is not the Shabbat bride tonight. Okay, so with that, please sing along as you can.
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat rikrat kala, panei panei Shabbat ni Kabbalah. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat rikrat kala, panei panei Shabbat ni Kabbalah. La 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 lecha dodi, likrat rikrat kala, panei panei Shabbat ni Kabbalah. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat rikrat kala, Panei Panei Shabbat ni Kabbalah. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad, Hisri anu elehu chad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem l'tiferet la 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 chadodi, Likrat rikrat kala, Panei Panei Shabbat ni Kabbalah. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat rikrat kala, panei panei Shabbat ni Kabbalah. Toreri, kiva orech tumiri, uri shidaberi, kivod la 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 dodi, likrat rikrat kala. Panei panei Shabbat ni Kabbalah, lecha lecha dodi, frikrat kala, Panei Panei Shabbat
Please rise
Kabbalah.
and let's welcome the Shabbat bride.
Iv Shalom Ateret Bala Gam Besimcha U'Tokola Tokev Ne'am Segola Boikala La 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 kadodi Frikrat kala Panei Panei Shabbat Kabbalah Vekala kadodi Frikrat kala Panei Panei Shabbat Kabbalah.
Please be seated. We were midway through that song when I realized I did not give you page numbers for that, nor for the candle lighting. My apologies. If you'd like to go back, no, we won't start again. But this time, we're going to do the Reader's Kaddish. Please join me as you can. You'll find it on page 144 of the Mishkan Tefillah. And this is in Aramaic, as I've told you before. This is original. It looks like Hebrew, it sounds like Hebrew, and it's Aramaic. Yikadal v'yikadash shamei rabah B'yamad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei V'chayechon yamechon Uvchayedecho beit Yisrael Ba'agala Ubizman kariv Vaimaro
Amen.
Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach Li'alamu al Me'umaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar v'yitpa'am v'yitnaseh V'yithadav V'yithaleh V'yithalav Shemei dekadesha barechu La'elam im kol bechata B'shir ata Tosh bechata V'nechemata Damiran b'yama Vaimaro.
Amen.
All right. So, for those of you who know me, you know that organized is not something people call me easily. But I have just found the order of service, so I think we're in better shape. Would you please turn to page 149? I will ask Jim to lead.
Baruch.
Oh, we do that first, don't we?
Yes, we do.
What would I do without you? I'd go on to an English reading. That's exactly what I would do without you. All right. For page 146, would you rise for the call to worship, the Baruch Hu? Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. HaMevorach le'olam va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Please be seated. Can I invite them now to 149?
Yes.
Okay, good. On page 149, please join as Jim leads reading Praise to You.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai hamariv aravim.
Amen. On page 151, Jim, why don't you take it as you taught Torah?
As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Please rise, page 152 for the Shema. This is a new version we're doing this evening. We've done it once or twice before, but I hope you will join in as you can. Shema
Yisrael, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Oh, Shem Kivod, Shem Kivod, Malachuto, Leolam, Leolam Vahed.
Please be seated. You did a fine job, Frank. The fact is that I could hear you. That made all the difference. The fact that I can hear anything anymore is a big deal. On page 154, we're going to do the Ahavta, the way I like to do it and the way we will do it this evening. I will sing a sentence in Hebrew, actually Aramaic, and Jim will interpret it into English, and we'll go through the entire Ahavta sentence by sentence that way. Page 154. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol miyadecha.
You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might.
V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha.
Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children.
V'shinatam levanecha v'dibartar bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'leftecha v'derech u'b'shoftecha u'v'kumecha.
Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up.
Ukshartan le'ot al yadecha ve'hayulatotafot bein einecha.
Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead.
Uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'hisharecha.
Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
L'man tiskaru ve'asitem et kel mitzotai v'yetem kadoshim leloechem.
Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God.
Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeichem mieretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
I am Adonai your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God.
Adonai Elohechem. On page 155, Jim, would you please lead us, starting in English, with Love Your God.
Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work. Whether you are tired or you are rested, let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God.
Would you please turn to page 158? You're welcome to sing along with us as we sing Mi Chamocha. Or not. It's okay. Got it? I could kill more time here. It's not a problem. I understand that it was.
La 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'alim Adonai, mi chamocha nerbo kodesh, Torah tehilot oseh pele, Torah tehilot oseh pele. Malachutecha v'rachutecha, Bokei Aaron nifnei Moshe Miriam, Ze'ani anu v'yamru, Ze'ani anu v'yamru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Mi kamocha ba'alim Adonai, mi kamocha nervo kodesh, Torah tehilot oseh pele, Torah tehilot oseh pele.
On page 160, I would tell you it's my favorite lullaby, but even if you've only been to one of our services, you would know that, because I say it every week, because it's true. It's just such a lovely thing. The piece itself is poetry put to music. It's poetry in Hebrew, and it's just as poetic in English. And so, let's give this a try.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, b'hamidenu melechenu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha, Ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
Would you please turn to page 164 in the Mishkan Tefillah and rise, please, for the Tefillah.
Na Adonai. Ananananana Saktaif Tiftach. Ananananana Opi Yagid. Opi Yagid Tahilatecha. Ananananana Adonai. Ananananana Saktaif Tiftach. Ananananana Opi Yagid. Opi Yagid Tahilatecha. Ananananana Adonai. Ananananana Saktaif Tiftach. Ananananana Opi Yagid. Opi Yagid Tahilatecha.
Page 166.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu
Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu,
Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Elohei Zilpah, Elohei Bilhah, Elohei Tamar. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'kanei HaKol, V'zocher Achrei Avot v'Imahot, U'megula livnei bneihem, L'ma'an Shemo b'Yahava, Melech Hozer Mashiach U'Magel, Baruch atah Adonai,
Magen Abraham, V'Yetzrat Sarah. Page 168.
Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai,
Mechayeh
Hakol Atah V'Oshia,
Morid
Hatah,
Mechakel Chayim
Chesed, Mechayeh Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Ve'Ofrei Cholim, Umatir Asorim, Kayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Bal Gvurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memid, Chayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chayot ha'akol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh ha'akol.
Page 170.
Atah kadosh, v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh.
Please be seated. Page 181. You are welcome to join me as I read. We reach for you, our God, from our quiet places. May we stand still for a brief moment and listen to the rain. Stand still for a brief moment and watch the play of sunlight and shadow on the leaves. For a brief moment, listen to the world. Let us stop the wheels of every day to be aware of Shabbat. Find the stillness of the sanctuary which the soul cherished. Renew the covenant of an ancient people. We need a quiet space to test the balance of our days, the weight of our own deeds against the heaviness of the world's demands. The balance is precarious. Steady us with faith. Quiet places and stillness where we will hear our own best impulses speak. Quiet places and stillness from which we will reach out to each other. we will find strength in silence, and with this strength we will turn
again to your service.
Please join me in praying silently. Page 374. Please join us as we sing Eitz
Chaim Hi, Lemach Azichem Bach, V'tomecheha Mushar Deracheha Darkei Noam V'chol Tivoteha Shalom Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Kedushamenu Kekedesh. I am He.
Right. Thanks. Yeah, we only did it once. Bobby isn't here, and so without the harmony, singing it twice. Sorry, I should have said something to you beforehand. It's great being up here. Please turn to page 371. Okay.
Can you remind people online to
Yes.
write in?
Certainly. We are about to do the Mishaberach. If you have names you would like to add to the list this week, I invite you to, if you're here, just stand up and Jeannie will come to you with a microphone so you can be heard saying the names. And if you are online, just put them in the chat box. That will be great. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, Leah, Zilpah, Bilhah, and Tamar, bless and heal those who are ill. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and for their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, and let us say, Amen. If you have names, David, I see you standing. Why don't we start off with you?
Hi. Philly Bonhart, Mary D. McBride, Julie Shaven Katz, Harry Katz, Diane Kistner.
I just lost it. Peter Yarrow, Katie Adler, Lyndon Steve Ely, Andrew Fine, Heather Murray, Margot and Jerry Hunt, Jerry Jacobson, Nyla Donahue, Luana Bachler, Sandy Lynn Fors, Mark Epstein.
Janelle and Bill Moore, Elliot Brass.
Kinsey family, Connie Spinelli, Bill and Jasmine Nick Milligan, Nicole Gravante, Catherine Seidel, Jim Wade, Lucas McHenry, Rabbi Fred Natkin, and Alexander Mata.
Paradise, Vilna Fagister, and Kevin Mary.
Thank you. Jim?
Linda Helms, Heather Murray, and Allison Taylor.
Denise, do you have names you'd like to add this week? Okay. Jeannie, you might have names yourself, or you'll just read what's been put in the chat box.
Tanya Hurst, Diana Berger,
Lisa Miller, Casey St. Clair, John St. Clair, Carol and Powell Hassell, Patty Beeman, Diana Swigger, Marty Allen, Heather Murray, Shelley Perkle.
Thank you. You have more names.
Lyndon Stephen Ely, Rebecca Goodman, Robert Whitlock, Tuli Vittner, Mila Binstock, Shelley Perkle, Heather Murray.
I will add Heather Murray, Mark Epstein, Shelley Perkle, Jerry Hunt, Andrew St. Clair, Paul Sullivan, Leslie Karsten, Will Reiser, Kay Omer, Hannah Litzo, Barbara Kane, and Jimmy Carter. In addition to all of those, we continue to pray for the citizens of Ukraine and Sudan and all of their loved ones as they face unimaginable terror. Please join us in singing Misha Berach, page 371.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe Perach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Thank you, and thank you, Jim. That was beautiful. First, I want to offer an explanation before I do the Devar. Some of you know that I have had tinnitus since 1993, not a big deal anymore. But about 5 years ago, in addition to all the hissing and tinging and binging, I hear tones. Bum, 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 bum. At about that rate, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's a lot of fun. Sometimes they go away, which is really nice. But they came back maybe 2 hours ago with a vengeance. And so I've been trying to fight through those tones to sing. And if I'm hitting the wrong notes from time to time, I apologize, but that's why. Well, at least that's my excuse. And so the Devar. Jeannie asked me as we were leaving the house how I felt about this evening's Devar. And I said, it's too scattered. There are just too many things to talk about. And I still feel that way. This is the Parsha where God tells the children of Israel how to light the menorah in the tent of the holies, in the Mishkan. It means that the Mishkan was finished. It was fully built, and it was ready to move as God saw fit. Pretty straightforward. Seems happy enough. But something remarkable happens that really isn't highlighted in this particular parsha, but it kind of hit me, so I will share with you. God informed the children of Israel that the Levites had to take care of the Mishkan, which meant they were responsible for moving it, regardless of what Cecil B. DeMille might have tried to tell you about the children of Israel leaving Egypt. There were a total of 6 carts. 6. For 6 million people. 6 carts. And that's where they were, with 6 carts as the Mishkan was finished. It took 6 carts to move the Mishkan. But prior to the moving of the Mishkan, there were 12 tribes with 6 carts. They shared. There wasn't, oh, it's mine, no, you can't have it, it's mine. There was none of that. It was, we need it for this, we need it for that. When it was time to move the Mishkan, there it was. People worked in harmony a long, long way from Joseph's brothers selling him to Bedouins. There was none of this nitpicking. People worked together. They had a common goal. They were making sure they followed the Word of God. I just found that here we are. We're at a point in the world, not just in America, where neighbors are fighting with neighbors for political gain. I don't like that. Families are being divided because of what they believe politically, one way or the other. We have something to learn from the children of Israel, who said, we need 6 carts, you got them. It's sort of remarkable that every single week the Torah gives us something that's current and relevant. 3,332 years we have been reading this parsha at this week. And it's still relevant. It's extraordinary. So one of the other stories, I'll keep this as brief as I can. Moses was called out by no other than Miriam, his sister, and Aaron, his brother. And they called him out because he wasn't being a good husband or father in their eyes. And according to the Bible, he wasn't being a good father. He was leading the children of Israel. He had an enormous task. And they decided they didn't like that very much. They wanted more family man. God stepped in and said, actually, in this particular case, he's got bigger fish to fry. He did, in fact, neglect his wife and children. There is no argument about that. But we have to find out and understand why. He wasn't being mean. He was doing the will of God. So we skip ahead a couple thousand years. Rabbi Akiva comes to the Torah late in life. He is considered, even to this day, one of the most brilliant rabbinic scholars who ever lived. He's quoted regularly. He decided to study the Torah after he was married, and his wife said, "Geh gesundheit, go, in good health, go." Little did she know he'd be gone for 12 years. After 12 years, he comes home. He says, "Hi, honey, gotta go, bye." And he goes for another 12 years. And when he comes back, he is one of the most popular rabbis, teachers of his time. And he had time, he made time for his wife. He sang her love songs. Rabbi Akiva, think about that. He did it because he knew that everyone's obligation to family was far more critical than it was for Moses. And he lived what he believed. He was close with his wife, he was close with his children, many of whom were 12 years apart. So it brings us back to Aaron and Miriam. Aaron lost 2 sons because they tried to honor God in the Mishkan without his telling them to. They were just being exuberant. And God said, that ain't going to happen. And they died by fire immediately. Aaron, the voice box for Jewish leadership, fell silent for weeks. That's how he mourned. But he couldn't do it for long because he was the chief priest. I think that we are all grateful to Moses for his leadership. We can also be grateful for our own opportunities to be present with our families and with our friends. This Shabbat, let's take time to enjoy the company of our loved ones and express gratitude for their presence in our lives. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Would you please turn to page 586 and rise for the Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol l'atei gedula
ליוצר ראשית שלא עשנו כגויי הרצון ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם בגורלנו ככל עמונם ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נותן שמיים ויוצא הארץ ומשה יעקב בשמיים מעמל ושירת צונזו Oshinakuzo, Bikohe Meromi, Eloheinu Enos, Emet Malkeinu Efezulato, Kakato, Biatorato, Biadata Yom, Biahashayota, Elevavecha, Ki Adonai, Hua Elohim, Mashamayim, Himayot, V'yal haaretz, Mitachat Enod.
Page 588. For you spread out the heavens and established the earth. Your majestic abode is in the heavens above, and your mighty presence is in the loftiest heights. You are our God, and there is none else. In truth, you are our sovereign without compare, as is written in your Torah. Know then this day and take it to heart that Adonai is surely God in the heavens above and on the earth below. There is none else. Page 591.
Ne'emar, V'haya Adonai, Lamelech ha'aretz, Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, U'shemo echad.
Please be seated. Page 599. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. Of them all we say, Zichronam Livracha. May their memories always be for a blessing. If you have names to add, if you know that someone we're in the first 7 days, the period of Shiva, any period of Shloshim, the first 30 days. Actually, I do have one on the Shloshim. Susan Kotar. Other names for, if you have names that you want to let Jeannie know about. Is there anyone here? Anyone online? We remember these who have been part of our family in years past. Al Fine, Sanford Falbum, Leon Berlin, Saul Wittner, Marvin Frank, Ethel Rubin, Rose Falbum, Norman Etheridge, Celia Greenberg Rushin, David Yarborough, and Lillian Alchula. Any other names? We also remember Curtis Young, Dave Bogart, Roland Jolin, Mark Kamazaro, Janice Teplitz, and Rabbi Bob Kersner. Anyone else? I would ask you all to please rise as a congregation of one as we join those in mourning on page 598, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah. Bialma divrach hirute, viamlich malchute. B'chayachon u'b'yomechon u'v'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'bizman kariv imru.
Amen.
Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach li'alam u'almei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishabach v'yita'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei kedusha barichu. La'elam kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata da'miran bi'alma v'yimru.
Amen.
Yehi shlama Rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'roma. Uyaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru.
Amen.
May the one who makes harmony on high bring peace to us and all Israel. And let us say,
Amen.
Jeannie, do you have any? Please be seated. Do you have announcements, Jeannie? Birthdays. Well, we do have a few here, yes. Robert Brown is celebrating a birthday in 4 days. And Sydney Alexandra Lee in just 2 days. Well done. Happy birthday to both of you. I don't know of any other birthdays nor anniversaries. If you do, please share them. Okay? I would ask you please then to rise as we close this evening's service.
Announcements.
I thought we just had announcements. I truly am confused. Please.
Well, we don't have, I just want to remind everybody to read your TBD emails for announcements and event details as they come along. We get them right out on the internet.
Tomorrow morning, for those of you who have small children or grandchildren or great-grandchildren or somebody else's, there will be a Tot Shabbat here at, is it 10 o'clock tomorrow morning? 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. We hope that you will be able to bring those who would enjoy it the most. And Rabbi Nori will be on the bima next Friday night. With that, I would ask you to rise for the priestly blessing, the Yivarechecha.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May the Lord bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai peno elecha v'hunecha.
May the Lord's face shine upon you and be gracious unto you.
Yisa Adonai peno elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May the Lord's face turn toward you and grant you peace.
V'yasem lecha shalom.
May you go from strength to strength. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.